We have just received the first batch of images from Artemis 2's historic flyby of the moon, and what we've seen already is absolutely breathtaking. In this video, I want to walk you through pretty much all of them, broken into chapters so you can skip to whatever interests you most, or just mute me and enjoy the pictures for their own natural beauty. The first few shots show the Orion module approaching the moon as the crew prepared for their record-breaking flyby. They swung around the moon, reaching about 4,000 miles above the surface, the furthest from Earth any humans have ever been, breaking the record previously set by Apollo 8 back in 1968. My personal favorite from this batch is the one where Earth is visible in the background, tiny, hiding behind a waxing crescent moon. 3 worlds in one image. It's hard to overstate how special that shot is. This next batch might be my favorite of the entire mission. These images show a total solar eclipse as seen from lunar orbit, the moon completely blocking out the sun from the astronaut's point of view. The headline image here is stunning. We see the full moon blocking the sun, but look at that faint glow on the left-hand side. That's Earthshine, sunlight reflecting off the Earth and illuminating part of the moon. So while Earth isn't in frame, we can deduce it's sitting just to the upper left of the picture. Because the moon appeared so large to the crew, the total eclipse lasted around 54 minutes, much longer than the few minutes we get here on Earth. There's also an incredible lineup of planets visible in the background: Saturn, Mars, and Mercury to the lower right of the moon. Neptune was actually sitting between Saturn and Mars at the time, but it's too distant and too dim to show up here. Look carefully and you'll also notice stars visible behind the moon, possible because the moon is so dim during the eclipse that a long enough exposure was used to let starlight in as well. And those bright spots on the dark part of the moon itself? Those aren't stars. Those are dead pixels caused by the intense radiation bombarding the crew and all of their equipment as they operate outside of our protective atmosphere. Here, we see the sun beginning to peek out from behind the moon at the end of the eclipse, and if you look carefully at the edge of the moon, you can see it's uneven. That's the dramatic lunar topography revealing itself in a way we don't usually get to see. This next shot shows the moon during the eclipse lit up by Earthshine, and some of the darker features are actually visible in that glow, including an area called Mare Crisium, which is also visible from Earth. That bright dot to the left is Venus. We also got a few photos showing the Orion module in frame alongside the eclipse, and these are just as stunning, a reminder that there's a human being behind the lens for every single one of these images. Let's take a moment to appreciate the astronauts themselves. We got some wonderful photos of them during the observations. Here they are wearing protective eclipse glasses at the start of the eclipse. Yes, you still need those even in space. Here are Victor Glover and Christina Koch taking images and observations, Jeremy Hansen using a camera during the approximate 7-hour observation window of the flyby, Victor Glover showing off something cool seen through the window, and Commander Reed Wiseman peering out just as lunar observations begin. This one also shows a shroud they placed over one of the windows to reduce reflections and keep the module nice and dark for imaging.
Now, let's get up close and personal with the moon. First up, this view focuses on the Oriental Basin, one of the moon's youngest and best preserved impact craters. You can see its concentric rings and countless other craters stretching across the surface. But this photo is special for another reason. Just before the flyby, the crew shared an emotional message proposing names for 2 currently unnamed craters, one named Integrity after their Orion module, and one named Carol after Commander Reed Wiseman's late wife. A beautiful and deeply human moment from this mission. Several other shots give us close-up views of craters with dramatic rays, dark mare regions, and a real sense of the moon's rugged topography thanks to the interplay of light and shadow. The bright dot in the dark lava flow region is the Aristarchus crater. The round black spot northeast of Oriento is Grimaldi. The bright white crater with rays to the left of Oriental is Burgius, and this close-up focuses on the Vavilov crater sitting right on the terminator line between lunar day and night, which makes it look incredibly dramatic with those long shadows. We also get a zoom in on the South Pole Aitken Basin, the largest and oldest basin on the entire moon. Now for one of the most iconic categories of image from any lunar mission, the Earth and Moon together. This one is called Earthset. A muted blue Earth with bright white clouds sets behind the cratered lunar surface. The dark portion is experiencing nighttime, and on the lit side you can make out swirling clouds over Australia and Oceania. In the foreground, a crater shows terraced edges, a flat floor, and central peaks. Those peaks form when the lunar surface liquefies on impact and splashes upward during crater formation. Images like this will always draw comparison to Apollo 8's Earthrise or the famous Apollo 17 Blue Marble, and they absolutely deserve to stand alongside those icons. We got several more shots of Earth sitting behind the limb of the moon. One was taken just 3 minutes before the crew passed behind the moon entirely and lost contact with Earth for 40 whole minutes, a planned blackout since signals simply can't pass through the moon. The crew continued their observations in peace before emerging on the other side. And when they did, this Artemis II Earthrise greeted them, the moon's dramatic landscape silhouetted against a glowing crescent Earth, one of the most beautiful images of the entire mission. In some of these Earth shots, you can also spot the Integrity and Carol craters. See if you can find them. We'll close out with a personal favorite series. 3 of the crew, Christina, Victor, and Jeremy, all photographed in the same pose, looking back at Earth through the window. And then there's Commander Wiseman. He's looking straight at the moon. Of course he is. Artemis II is now heading home, carrying a treasure trove of images and video that simply couldn't all be transmitted back due to bandwidth limitations on the Deep Space Network. What we've seen is just the beginning. Over the coming days, weeks, and possibly even months, more images will continue to be released. I'll leave a link in the description so you can explore the full high-resolution gallery and check for anything new since I made this video, because there probably is something new already. Subscribe if you want to explore it all together, and I'll bring you the best imagery and video right here on the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, team, stay safe. See you soon.